death is inevitable. We don't get to choose. We don't get to choose disease or death.
Right. Okay.
And so it's the option to. So in many ways, I'm currently working to create a don't die nation state. So if you're serious about not dying, and this again, not for immortality, but just for the purpose of we're at the dawn of a new era as a species, and we're going to try to create some stable structure for birthing superintelligence,
Yes.
then you can walk into that and no government in the world is helping its citizens not die. Really basic things like blood draws and therapies and medical care. It's very much treat the symptoms when they arise, or when you're near end of life, let's keep you alive for some short duration of time. But otherwise, we don't do a good job. And so I'm trying to figure out how to create a new societal structure that has the sole objective, a nation state, of helping its citizens not die.
Well, of course, the first order of business would be to construct a military to defend yourselves against people who wanted to kill you anyway. Because not everyone agrees that you should get to live, of course. But yeah. So, but let me ask you, like, maybe there's a shortcut to all this. And I so admire your energy and your willingness to think about questions that most people don't bother to think about, but can feel are important.
Yeah.
Everything you've said, I can feel it's important. Like, this is not nonsense what you're saying at all. But why wouldn't it just be a lot easier to blow up all the processing centers, save ourselves like the massive climate change inducing energy draw that AI really is? If you're worried about the planet, we got to stop this crap immediately because we can't generate the power for it, and arrest everyone who's getting rich imposing this revolution on the world. Like, why? That's a lot easier.
Yeah.
You could do that in an afternoon with nuclear weapons, and why wouldn't you if you thought it would help us, quote, not die?
Yeah, I mean, the systems we have as a society today enables those things, right? Like the ability to create a corporation, to make money, to use that money, to acquire more power. These are systems that humans have created. It's how the world works.
Sure.
And
so was Auschwitz. I mean, so
what I'm saying is that AI is going to improve at a speed that's going to challenge how these structures are.
I couldn't agree more.
And when that happens, there's going to be an opening. There's going to be a power vacuum. And it's not going to be very clear anymore who's in charge.
Yes.
Who has authority? Who can verify identity? Where can you keep money? Is money secure?
Yes.
All these basic questions of society. And so what I'm suggesting is, as a species, we increase our probability of surviving if we can rally around one thing that we can all agree upon. Now, the don't die. If we disagree one layer above, great. Like,
wait, I get it. I totally get it. And I hate to like reduce everything to if you could kill baby Hitler, would you? But it is sort of a question like that, because like you would not disagree if I said, here's what we know. We know that AI is likely to spawn some improvements, also certain to kill millions of people. Millions will die because of this. I don't think there's any doubt about it. The chaos alone, right, will cause that. I'd bet my house on that. That's going to happen. Why let that happen? Why not just strangle this puppy in the crib? Like, seriously, why wouldn't you as a rich guy fund a bunch of saboteurs to blow up the data centers and to take out the people pushing this crap and to try and end it? Go full Unabomber. Like, honestly, why couldn't you justify that?
It would be a question, what path do you think creates a higher probability of survival? Do we think that technology, or do we think we humans are a better path? I mean, for example, I look at my own self-destructive behaviors and not trusting myself. Do we really think that we humans are trustworthy to chart a path where we survive ourselves?
I don't know. I mean, it's of course hard to know. Potentially not, for sure. And I definitely don't trust myself, as noted. But I have a soul and a machine doesn't. And so that gives me kind of an advantage, I would say a moral advantage over the machine. And therefore, I'm a preferable father, for example, to my children than my iPad would be.
Yeah.
Because I have a soul and the iPad doesn't. And so, but again, but that's a theological distinction. But as a practical matter, like, there's no way you can look into the camera and say AI is not likely to kill millions of people, because you know that it is. The effect of it will kill people, for sure. The displacement that you described, the power vacuum you described, the chaos that you described correctly, you're predicting. That's all that's real, in my view. So millions will die because of that. So why wouldn't you just take your money and try to blow it up in the name of saving millions?
I think the probabilities of our survival are higher with AI.
Oh, even though millions will die.
I don't accept the premise.
You don't? You really don't?
I really don't. Millions are dying because of the food industry.
Yeah,
Millions
for sure.
are dying because of environmental toxins. Millions are dying because of, it's certainly death is happening at a societal scale for a lot of things that we humans are doing. Now, sometimes it's not born of malice. Like we're just trying to improve.
I agree.
things
I
and
totally agree with everything you just
Yeah.
said. That's all true.
Yeah, but I think this is back to your statement, though, Tucker.
So you actually think AI? So I think I misread what you were saying. I thought you were saying this historically transformative thing is about to happen, and we've got to prepare ourselves for it. And the implication would be that's a kind of bad and scary thing. But you're saying actually for all the displacement and suffering it's going to cause, it's still better than if we didn't have it.
Exactly, and I'm specifically I'm saying that when I listen to what the world is saying, so we're giving birth to the superintelligence. What do we do? The only argument I've heard is universal basic income.
Well, that's just childish. Like
It's not a solution.
That's the midwit solution. That's the I'm running for president as the fake smart tech guy. Maybe we should have UBI. Okay.
We have no plan. We've given no thought.
I agree.
And we don't even know. We can't even fully comprehend how big of a problem this is and on what scale. And so what I'm trying to do is get out in front of this to say it's big, it's serious. And
wait a second, you're contradicting yourself, Bryan Johnson. You just said a minute ago you think it'll be an improvement over what we currently have.
Yes. Okay.
But then you're saying a sentence later that it's such a huge problem that we need to like mobilize all forces to fix it.
It's a problem because it's going to create chaos among humans.
Yeah.
And humans in uncertain circumstances are very dangerous.
I totally agree.
And so what I'm suggesting is if we're trying to improve the likelihood that we survive as a species, that we do, our children do, their children do, and I'm trying to say, how do we optimize that? Then yes.
But I still just want to go back to like, why not save ourselves? I mean, there's something sort of classically American or Western or overfed, too much money, passive about the society that I live in and all of us live in. We're just like, well, it's going to happen. It's like, why doesn't somebody stop it?
Yeah.
Why even go through all this drama? These are just machines. Like, let's go full Luddite and just take them out. No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
And arrest these creepy people who are trying to impose this dystopia on our children.
So there's another way. I understand what you're saying. There's another way to think about it, though.
It doesn't include blowing up data centers and arresting these people?
I mean, okay, so let's just say, at what point in time have humans known all things? So we walk back through history and say, what did humans know then? And what do we know now? And there's been a track record of we haven't known all things. In fact, we've known a very shallow set of things. It's like even if you said, how big is reality a few hundred years ago, you wouldn't be able to say, oh, there's a microscopic world down to, the nanoscale and beyond. There's this big universe on this scale at this size. You wouldn't say there's an electromagnetic world that's 1 trillion times bigger than what we can see. You wouldn't be able to say reality is like trillions of times bigger than what we experience. And so if you say, what could our conscious experience be? What could existence be in a few decades? It may be orders of magnitude larger than what we have now. So I realize we come at this now with this fear response. We're saying we can pattern things that we've seen, but going forward, we may be cavemen and have no idea what we're talking about.
Hey, it's Tucker Carlson. The internet is crowded with interesting things that don't really matter. On TCN, we attempt to bring you interesting things that actually do matter, and a lot of them. Interviews, long form and short, videos, documentaries. You can find all of it on tuckercarlson.com, and we hope you will.